3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm joined by
Mark.
Sheen Washable.
Nope.
Soze.
And the Red Baron.
No J-Mart today.
J-Mart is out. J-Mart is out.
He's with us in spirit.
He's on the DL.
He's on the DL. The 1 week DL. We'll reevaluate him. We'll get him back. It's Jeff, so it's an ankle injury.
Concussion protocol.
Ankle injury.
Either way. 7 days.
Groin injury. Got a groin injury.
We were technically out for 14 days.
That's true.
So we could put him in a 15-day DL and activate him in 7 days.
All right, how long are we going to talk about this?
Hold on. What if we put him on a 1 month DL and we get arbitration for it?
I don't know if that's how that works.
Do you know what arbitration means?
No idea.
All right, so then how do you know?
It's something to do with trees, right, Kyle?
I think so.
Starting lineup. Souls.
Fuck. I got the Flying Jenny. Is that what that says?
Gray Sail Brewery in
In
Rhode
Rhode
Island.
Island.
I don't care about that. The name's pretty cool.
Okay. Why'd you pick it out?
Saw it. First one I saw, so I picked it.
Okay.
I have from Stony Creek here in Connecticut the Double Ruffled Double IPA.
Oof. I just realized Kyle's a dick
Why?
because he's the only one with the non-Connecticut beer.
Ooh, boo.
Damn.
You know who wouldn't have done that? Jeff. And he's on the DL.
Well, we also never really discussed anything.
Yeah, it
Well,
just
see,
kinda happened.
I didn't know what Mock Sheen was buying. I really liked the look of this beer, so I got it.
I also got another beer.
That's not from Connecticut either.
Well, what do you have, Paul?
From the Thomas Hooker Brewery, I have the Super Duper Double Citra, and it's the can art and description and all that stuff are based off of the show Double Dare, the game show from when we were kids.
On Nickelodeon, right?
Yeah, it was part of that whole game show series where it was Double Dare, Guts, Legends of the Hidden Temple, Figure It Out, and there was another one, but I'm forgetting it. Forget what it is. We'll have to come back to it. Red Baron, here.
And from Thimble Island, Mutually Assured Destruction. Mad.
Which, I think either Monday or Tuesday, we'll have our show from Thimble Island
That's right.
posted.
And it'll be airing on PPRN Radio
Sunday.
Network on Sunday, Easter. Kendall being real lazy, drinking the same beer back-to-back days.
Yeah.
Well, I thought
It's
it was
supposed to be a craft beer show, and the guy's drinking the same beer twice.
it's a good segue. We were at Thimble Island, we recorded, and now it's a way to, make our stamp.
You know, if any of us did it, it'd be dumb, but it's
Yeah.
a good segue
That's
for
not
him.
true. That's not true. I've never said it was dumb for you guys to do that.
Yeah, he said it was dumb.
When?
He said it was. I'd also like to put out that Souls A. Is that what you introduced yourself as today?
Yeah.
It's hard to keep track. Souls A and the Red Baron switched hats today.
That's right.
My purple Diamondbacks is really clashing with my
Purple
purple
shirt.
shirt.
You'll see in the Facebook Live video.
It goes together really well.
So, Toast of Excellences? Anything? Anybody?
I'd give mine to Martellus Bennett. Announced his retirement. 10 years in the league. I've always liked him.
Douchebag brother.
Yeah, his brother's no good.
Doesn't even watch basketball games.
He goes to Sixers games and looks at his phone the whole game.
It was really funny because Mock tried to start like a Twitter beef with him, and then there were some off-the-field issues that arise.
You could bring it back.
I'm going to leave him alone.
Let the dust settle for a little bit. Then you
Red Baron, Miriam, do you have anything?
my toast to excellence, God, was not prepared for it.
All right. My Toast of Excellence is to the show finally coming out for the PlayStation.
Yes.
Now we finally have a new game to play for hours on end and mindless entertainment. And Toast of Excellence to Kyle, who's created player in his first game of the season went for the cycle.
I didn't want to clap for that.
Trade him.
On some bullshit, I'd like to say, too. He hit a ball that the guy dove for. He missed it by a mile. So Kyle got a triple out of that. And then the first base hit that he got, he hit it, and it just bounced over the third baseman's head.
Now, Kyle, real life, all time, how many triples have you had?
None. maybe
what,
one.
What about in Wii baseball?
I don't know.
Do you have a toast of excellence, Kyle? Now, Kyle, real life, all time, how
Kyle?
Real
you
life,
have a toast
Kyle,
of
all
excellence?
time.
Sorry.
It's always funny when something technically goes wrong because everyone just stops and looks at Kendall.
So my toast of excellence into the Charlotte Hornets. They had a back-to-back game where they played very well. Dwight Howard a 30-30 game, and they beat the Memphis Grizzlies by 61 points.
And Kyle's really lucky that those two games happened right after the 76ers game we went to. Because there's nothing I would love more than walking out of the stadium, Kyle, down by 61. That would have been completely different if that girl that was slapping her forehead saying Charlotte rules, that game happened.
the Hornets?
Yeah, that was very intimidating.
I was kind
Do you have one now, or did we stall
I
long
do.
enough
I
for
do.
you?
I was going to give it to Loyola Chicago.
Oh, what a cop-out.
Well, they advanced very far.
How far did they advance?
They made it to the Elite Eight.
Final Four.
Final
Final
Four.
Four. See, even better.
Can you believe this? We're actually going to get a shot of private stock in before we even get to shot trivia.
Yeah.
Guy gives a toast of excellence, doesn't even know the stats.
Well, it's a great, toast.
Today's private stock is a bottle of Jameson.
Brought to you from the Jameson Distillery in Dublin, Ireland. Souls enjoys it. Warm with being preceded by a shot of pickle juice.
Yeah, gross.
No, it's not. Get over it.
When I do it, I have to do the pickle juice first because I hate pickles so much that I want the Jameson to kill all the pickle juice in my mouth.
You okay?
A-okay.
All right, toast of excellence. Congratulations to everybody. This beer's gross. No, I'm just kidding.
It's not
We got
bad.
the I don't know how to describe it, but you guys know the face. I'm talking about the face from Mock, Sheen, Washable, Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash sucks.
So, Souls, you got some shot trivia.
I do.
So let's get the bottle over here.
Yeah.
And,
toss me the Jame.
The Jame. Can you just call it JMO?
It's Jenny Jameson, guys.
Flying Jenny Jameson?
That's right.
You didn't put those two together.
Kyle, just take the shot.
She was a great girl.
Oh, God. Not even 10 minutes in, we're already doing the
Accent starting.
the SNL accents. Well, Kyle, what do you think?
Kyle, that's probably like the best liquor we've had on the show.
It still sucks.
Ever. It's actually the best one we've ever had, probably. Oh, that's sad.
Got a big bottle of Canadian Club waiting for you, Kyle.
I think I'm going to start bringing
keep
on...
forgetting
I think I'm going to start drinking single malts instead of beer.
All right. So my shot trivia. All right. In 1939, Ted Williams was a rookie. How many RBI did he have that year?
Red Baron?
I like the elaborate ways you go about asking questions. Not to interrupt the guessing, but it's just like very easily could have been like, how many RBIs did Ted Williams have in his rookie year? It says, in 1939, Ted Williams was a rookie. My dad was born that year.
91.
89.
He's a Hall of Famer. Probably puts up Hall of Fame numbers. I'm going to say 53.
You guys are all very off. It was 145.
Oh my God.
I didn't know if he played did he play a full season?
Yeah.
I was gonna-
Clearly.
See, it's one of those things like...
Clearly, after I give you the answer.
It's like he's a Hall of Fame, but like, it's one of those things where like I was either going to go really high or really low. And I lost.
I was really hoping he would go high.
Yeah, 'cause I knew Kyle was.
Oh, well.
Fuck this guy.
I got to do the private stock next week. We'll see what it is then.
Oh, I'm not buying the next one.
You said that last time. And the time before that.
In the land before time. I got this.
Kyle, I don't want to get too drunk before work. Let me just, take another sip out of the bottle.
I'd like to point out this little sticky note I found here. It says, thanks for ripping up my lawn, asshole. Don't know what that's an
Oh,
reference
Uncle
to,
Bob
but
definitely wrote that.
Shout out to Uncle Bob. So yeah, we got stuff to talk about. I don't know what it is. NBA,
Europe.
MLB.
Everything.
Yeah, things are happening.
Kyle, do you want to recap our Phillies trip quick?
No.
Nice.
All right, so we went to Philadelphia to see the 76ers play the Hornets. Kyle has yet to see the process take form live, so we took him there after he bought the tickets.
It was really nice. We took him there. He bought the tickets.
We didn't really have a choice because Kyle just said, hey, I'm buying tickets, so we're going. I was like, oh, all right, let me know when. But It was a lot of fun. We had a road trip. Whenever we go on a road trip, we make a CD full of ridiculous songs, and we listen to it nonstop the whole way. I heard Drake and Josh theme song a lot.
I wanted to snap that CD in half.
We went to Bojangles. Just kidding. We went to Church's Chicken.
It was gross.
It was very good. I got the spicy. Very spicy.
I never felt so awkward in a place.
Yep. Thought we were gonna die.
I don't know why. Why?
Wasn't a good part of Philly, really.
Yeah, but
No,
keep your.
it's just that everybody looked at us differently. They looked like they'd never seen us before.
They haven't ever seen it.
So
and then,
pretty hefty transsexual.
Yep. And then we went to the big sports bar outside all the stadiums because if you've ever been to Philly, and all their stadiums are in one location. So it's convenient because it's
Pretty dope bar too.
But I have a question.
But it's convenient because it's like it goes Eagles, Phillies, 76ers, City Dump.
But I have a
Oh
question.
wait, never mind. Those are the City Dumps.
What do they do
Just
if
kidding.
all three teams are playing at once? Because it can happen. Getting in and out of there's got to be horrible.
No, I don't think it can happen.
NBA didn't start until after.
It could only no. It could happen if the Phillies made the World Series.
Yeah.
The Phillies would have to make the World, and then who cares what any other team is doing because the Phillies are in the World
But
Series.
no, you can have an Eagles game, a Phillies game, and like a Flyers game going.
No, because hockey and basketball start at the end of October, and by then the Phillies would have to be in the NLCS or the World Series.
But think the baseball's about to start and hockey's still
Yeah,
going.
but football's not going on.
Oh, that's true.
So you can do some garbage talk for that one.
Any pro lacrosse, Kyle?
So basically, what I'm saying is,
I don't know.
for all three teams to be playing at the same time, it means the Phillies are really deep in the playoffs, so no one gives a shit about the other two teams.
Yeah, for real.
Because it's the first 5 games of the NBA or NHL season, and we can skip one Sunday game for. And to be honest, if the Phillies were really doing that well, the Eagles will probably pull some strings. Like, hey, can we move this to like a Monday or something? But no, we went to a pretty dope sports bar. Saw a pretty hot waitress.
My
Yep.
wife.
And then
My what?
then we went to the game.
Game was good.
Yeah, it was a good game. It was closely contested for most of the game until like the last 2 minutes. The Sixers ended up blowing them out at the end there, but it was good.
We ended up in that Skybox club that we had no part being in.
Yeah, because Kyle bought the tickets from SeatGeek, so we got a season ticket got them from a season ticket holder, so we got VIP access. So
Didn't know that until we got there.
2 out of the 5 of us walk in sweatpants and hoodies, and there's people in like suits sitting down eating dinner.
Nice
We saw
$55
Michael Bennett there, and
Malcolm Jenkins.
Malcolm Jenkins, and Mock wanted to start a free Meek Mill chant, and then they got shot down by Kendall and Jeff, and then later on the next day we saw somebody wearing a Philadelphia Eagles free Meek Mill jersey.
We also saw Allen Iverson.
Yep.
Yep.
And this made me realize, and I said this to you, Kyle, why 76ers fans suck. Eagles players got a bigger ovation than the greatest Sixer.
They just came off a Super Bowl.
Second greatest Sixer
All
of
right,
all time.
even still, greatest second. And they showed Iverson, and everyone's just like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it was just it's
Cool.
one of those things that, like,
Iverson's there all
I
the
get what
time.
you're saying, but I agree with Kyle. Iverson's at a lot of games, and so it's like it's not really that like uncommon to see him at a Sixers game. And on top of it, I don't know who's been there, but like that if that was Malcolm Jenkins' first game since they won the Super Bowl.
It's just the fact that
They also introduced him as like
Did you
Super
see the
Bowl
interview
champion.
that AI had? There's
Hold
a
on.
reason for it.
Because the free Frosty got a bigger ovation
Listen,
than Allen
We're
Iverson.
really hyped. We didn't even get the free frosting.
We never do.
Yeah, the Steelers had something like that too because there was like a touchdown score in the third quarter or something
It was
like
a
that.
free sandwich or something
yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Probably from Primatini Brothers. They kind of really
Actually, I
raved
think it
about
was from Primatini Brothers.
Real let us down there, reader.
I was let down. I didn't let you down. I let
You
everybody down.
took this sandwich up the whole drive down there. And it was like the worst thing I've ever
I didn't
had.
mind it because it was covered in coleslaw, and I love coleslaw.
Oh,
I heard such good things. I was very excited and just didn't come
we
to
should go to the
fruition.
restaurant next time.
You mean the one that's 2 feet from our hotel
Yeah.
that we stay at every time?
That was a real kick in the nads. Just going that.
Well, anyway, so let's move on from that. It was a fun time. We had a lot
Yeah.
of fun. Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you,
for taking
Kyle.
us.
You're welcome. Thank you for my birthday gift, guys.
We got you there.
I never said you didn't.
Yeah, but you said thank you for the birthday gift, and then you made one of those faces like,
Look at that mock.
So does that mean we don't have to get you a gift?
Oh, you went to buy me a gift. I bought you a lot of presents.
you haven't bought me any presents. What? You can't give a look. No one's seeing you right now.
Oh,
Kyle.
they know the look.
All right, I guess that's acceptable. So what do you want to talk about first, Kyle? Basketball?
Yeah, let's talk about some NBA.
Okay.
With the playoffs about to happen, 10 games out. Playoff races are very close.
Mm-hmm.
I know in the Western Conference, like 3 to 8 is all shifting.
Yep.
Like
Pelicans are all over the place.
Pelicans went from 8 to 4 back to 6 in like 5 games
Yep. Bulls are fighting for the 1 seed.
of the lottery draft.
That was mean. That was a personal attack.
No. You want the 1 pick.
Actually, I saw this funny meme. It was like it was from this Instagram account, not ESPN, so it's just like fake ESPN news, and it was power rankings of all Chicago's teams, and it said 1 Chicago Cubs, 2 Loyola Chicago, 3 the Bears, 4 the Blackhawks, 5 the White Sox, ... 147 Chicago YMCA Youth League. Then the next one said Chicago Church Basketball, and then it's just Chicago Bulls. Which, to be fair, I mean, the Bulls should be higher than the Blackhawks. I mean, the Blackhawks have already been eliminated from the playoffs. The Bulls have officially been eliminated from the playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
At least, but they've done more. The Blackhawks were terrible.
So I saw a thing the other day. They said the Blackhawks are looking to possibly get rid of the coach. Is there any truth behind that, or I mean that you would know?
I mean, it's possible. I mean, like the Blackhawks. I mean, they have had a Stanley Cup caliber team for years. I mean, this is the first time in 10 years they haven't made the playoffs, and the past 2 years they've had first round exits. So I mean, that's definitely like, I mean, any real sports fan will tell you certain teams, like, the expectations aren't just to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
There's certain teams that like the Dodgers, the Astros, like, they're expected to go to their championship series, things like that. The Warriors and the Cavs are always expected to go to the anything short of the finals is a disappointment. So it's like, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't necessarily agree with it. I think they should give him 1 more year. Unless he's up for a contract. If he's up for a contract, then they might just let him go. But I think he should be given 1 more year. Taze and Kane are still going to be Taze and Kane. Rework the defense, and they're going to have Crawford, and they're going to get a good draft pick now. So bring in somebody youthful that they can keep around for a while. The Blackhawks have always been good at filling in holes on the team through like free agency and trades and all that. So I don't know. I mean, the guy won 3 Stanley Cups.
That's what I mean,
in
yeah.
like 7 years. So it's like,
Got to give him a little wiggle room.
if what's his face there for the Cleveland or the Cincinnati Bengals can still be coaching, Marvin
He's
Lewis.
got blackmail on somebody.
If Marvin Lewis and Jason Garrett can still be coaching teams, there's no reason that Quinville should ever be fired.
The worst part about Marvin Lewis was like, hey, this is going to be my last game. And it has that great win, upsetting the Ravens.
And they gave him a 2-year
And
contract.
he's like, you know what? Actually, I think I could still coach some more guys.
All right, so we'll run it down real quick. In the playoff picture as of right now for the NBA, in the East, you've got from 1 to 8 Toronto, Boston, Cleveland, Philly, Indiana, Washington, Miami, and Milwaukee. With Toronto, Boston, and Cleveland all clinching playoff spots already. And then in the West, you've got Houston, Golden State, Portland, OKC, San Antonio, New Orleans, and Minnesota. And then Utah, with Houston and Golden State clinching playoff berths and their division titles. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of close stuff here. You look at the West, from Utah to Portland, it's a 3-game difference. Utah's 3 games out of the 3 seed.
And
They're the 8 seed right now.
And Denver's only a game behind them.
Yeah, Denver, game and a half.
Game and a half.
No, 1 game. Sorry, you're right. Yeah, Clippers are 1.5 out. So, I mean, looking at this, I mean, realistically, I mean, if I had to guess it, got the Clippers and Denver are on the outside looking in. Denver has the more ability to make the push, but I don't think the Clippers will. I mean, they're only 2.5 games out, but they're just not a complete
losing.
team.
They've
Yeah,
been losing lately.
and for the Clippers, I mean, for them to make it, if I'm the Clippers, I don't take the chance in the lottery. Don't, because you're gonna make it, and you're pretty much guaranteed like the 16th pick because you're gonna be the worst team in there, and you're gonna get probably blown to pieces by Houston. You don't want that to happen. You don't want to lose. And there's nothing worse than being like the 8 seed, being all excited to be there, and you go in and you get blown out, swept in 4 games on your home court.
Well, if you look on the Eastern side, I think Milwaukee could beat Toronto.
Kyle, you think everybody can beat Toronto? You just don't like.
I don't
Toronto.
think Toronto's a good. I think Toronto's a bad playoff team. They never win in the playoffs.
Okay.
and it just Milwaukee had the personnel.
But they've also, but if they've never finished with the 1 seed, so they've never had the cakewalk there.
Milwaukee's not a cakewalk.
I'm not saying they're a cakewalk. I'm just saying they've never had a cakewalk there. They always finish in that 3 seed area, so they're going up against a team that's finished the season 3 games out of their spot. So they're going up with a much more contested team. They've never finished 1 and gone against the 8 seed like Detroit or something that was 20 games behind them. So you don't know. You don't know, Kyle.
I don't, but I just think Milwaukee can beat them.
You think, but my point is you have no credibility because you think every team can beat Toronto. Anytime I ever hang out with you, if there's a Toronto game on, I could see them beating Toronto.
Toronto's not that good.
I could see them beating Toronto. Well,
But they have to be that good.
What do you mean they're not good? So how do you win 54 games and you're just not that good?
I'm telling you, they're going to fold every year.
That's not the argument right now. The argument is that you said Toronto's not that good. How do you win 54 games and not be that
Listen,
good?
I understand what you're saying.
And your argument against it is...
I'm arguing that the regular season is better than their playoffs. Their playoffs suck.
Well, that's your new argument. That wasn't
Kyle
your
Lowry
argument.
can't play in the playoffs.
DeMar DeRozan can.
Yeah, but Kyle Lowry can't, and he's he's the leader of the team.
I would argue that DeRozan's the leader of that team.
Everyone goes to Lowry first. Not DeRozan to score. Lowry the vocal leader of the team.
If you need financial advice, better go to Lowry.
It's the team accountant.
Really wish this guy was right here right now.
It's funny. I was going to say, Jeff requested that someone argue with Kyle, and Paul right out of the gate. Take him out.
Because he's wrong. DeRozan's the leader of the team. On the court for scoring and all that stuff, that's DeRozan. That's what matters in the playoffs. Being the guy in the locker room that goes, okay, guys, let's go out there and kick some Milwaukee butt. We can do it. By the way, the credit score needs some work.
Giannis will eat Toronto alive.
Maybe.
Well, I think Giannis could eat a lot of teams alive. He's really good.
But, can't do it by himself.
You won't have to. Middleton, Eric Bledsoe. They're going to get Malcolm Brogdon back.
Okay, but this is a team that's finishing just north of 500, and they've had most of those players all year, including Jabari Parker.
No, Jabari Parker just came back.
Not just came back.
Okay, he's finally getting more minutes. He was only playing 15 minutes in the first 2 weeks he came back.
But I'm saying, they're just north of 500.
I'm telling you.
And Toronto's a 50-win team. I'm not saying Toronto's going to beat Milwaukee. That's not my prediction. I don't know what my prediction is. I'd have to wait until the playoffs are finalized. But I'm just saying, you think Toronto sucks.
No, I just think they're overrated.
So what do you think they should be finishing every year? As a 6 seed?
As a 3 or 4 seed.
So what happened this year then?
They had a good year.
I mean, they have a good year. They've had a good year every year. They've just been playing a much more competitive. I mean, Cleveland's not had a good year for Cleveland, and Boston fell off a little bit here and there.
And they get to play the Knicks and the Nets twice. More than twice. A lot more.
So did the Sixers.
We really didn't play them, as much as I thought we would.
Okay, you played Charlotte 3 times.
Hey, we played them again. And they
really?
Yeah, we played them April 1st. We played them 3 times this month.
To the point where you thought you bought tickets to the wrong stadium.
Yeah, not my fault.
It absolutely would have been
It really
your fault.
fucked me. Fucked with my mind.
I don't know. These playoff pictures stay the same for me. Nothing changes. I mean, maybe within seedings, but I don't think any of the teams that aren't in it make it. Detroit can't. I don't think Detroit's not eliminated from the playoffs, but they're 4.5 games out.
Go Pels. P-E-L-S.
I think Denver could sneak in. Who's the 7th seed in the West?
Minnesota.
I think Minnesota has a chance to fall out without Jimmy Butler.
I think they'll be fine. I think they'll make it. It might be the 8th seed. Like I said, I think they'll switch seedings within, but I think all 8 teams in both conferences are the teams that finish it.
I have a question. Do you think when the Clippers traded Griffin, they kind of just established, hey, we're preparing for next year, and the fact that they're kind of close to being in is just a bonus?
No, they're preparing for the future.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're saying that they're on the cusp of being an 8th seed. Is that what you guys saying?
Yeah.
So the fact that they're that close is just by chance?
Pretty much, because they were playing all right in the beginning of the year, and they've just been 500 ever since the trade. But they don't really have the dominant scorer.
Right.
So it's kind of like Blake Griffin was the superstar of the team, but now it's Lou Williams and DeAndre Jordan, who DeAndre Jordan's not a scorer. And they just have basically Lou Williams to score. So like
Makes
that.
sense.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if it was a fluke or that there was more to it than meets
I tell you,
the
it's
eye.
probably got the fans kind of irritated.
Like, oh, we were this close, you know.
DeAndre Jordan probably not going to be there next year.
Well, the Clippers will be one of those things too. The Clippers it's just by chance they have a great record because I mean, from Portland down to the Lakers, which is the 3 seed down to the 11th seeded team in the West, they're all within 12 wins of each other.
Yeah.
So those games are all much more highly competitive, and you have a bigger chance of pulling out a 3-point win here, or a team having an off night and winning them out. And then the teams that are bad in the West are really bad. So it's like in the West, the only 2 teams this year that you like were more guaranteed to lose to were Houston and Golden State. So it's not really like I think even if they didn't have Blake Griffin all year, they'd still be sitting in a similar boat. They might be a couple more games out, but they would still be knocking on the door of an 8th seed when the playoff picture was winding up. It's not like the East where like teams are just like kind of like regularly bad.
Traditionally bad. Poor Knicks and Nets.
The Nets did
God.
it to himself.
Well, the Nets are actually
The Nets did it to himself. They traded away their entire future for 2 aging stars.
yeah, and then the GM that just got there is actually doing a pretty good job trying to build that team back up. Because he was left with no draft picks, a very terrible roster, and they didn't play great this year, but they played a lot better than they have in years past.
They need to go back to their roots.
They were better when they were in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And the Knicks is what they're doing.
There's certain teams that are kind of like a lost cause. I like the Knicks, but that is
Phil
some teams
Jackson
are forever doomed.
Phil
I
Jackson
don't know what it is.
ruined that team.
Yeah. I think the movie Eddie with Whoopi Goldberg ruined the team.
I think
It's a good movie, though. I mean, not really. It's not a good movie, but it's humorous.
I don't believe Jeff Hornacek will be in New York next year. It's just Mark Jackson would be a good coach for them. But Mark Jackson built the Warriors, and it's just Steve Kerr got handed a team that Mark Jackson built, and Steve Kerr just rolled with it.
The Knicks are going to trade their entire team for one player and then call up their whole G League and then draft. And they're going to go from there. They're going to get LeBron in free agent. They're going to cut everybody except for Porzingis. They'll give all the money they physically can give to LeBron. They'll give him a max contract plus the Empire State Building. The LeBron James Tower. And there you go. That's what's going to happen.
Do you think the Sixers move up to the 3?
No.
Why not?
Kyle's so mad now. What do you mean?
I think the Sixers fall to the 5.
I think they have a chance to move up to the 3.
Yeah. Statistically, they do.
Because they have the easiest schedule left.
Okay. But,
And the Cavs have been playing like ass.
okay. You asked my opinion, and I gave it to you.
Okay, I'm just letting you know.
I think they fall to the 5.
Okay.
I think they lose some of those games.
Okay.
Something against you. I just think they do. I just think lack of experience coming into the playoff run does it to them. And honestly, I don't think it'd be a bad thing because I think they're starting to heat up a little too early.
Got to bring them back to earth for a second. Trust the process, Kyle.
Oh, I trust the
Kyle does not trust the process. He wants LeBron James.
championship team. They don't need LeBron, but they're a championship team with LeBron.
So do you believe?
So why don't they need LeBron then?
Because you'll make them an instant championship team.
So they're not a championship team without him?
Not yet. In like 2 years, maybe. But you still have the Warriors that are going to be there.
Yeah.
And if the Sixers play the Warriors this year, they'll probably lose to the Warriors.
Sorry, Mark sent me a Snapchat. His hair looked very funny in it.
It does. It's not a great photo, but hey.
I like it. I don't know.
All this doesn't mean anything because the Pelicans are getting in, and that's it.
Shut
Anthony
the place
Davis.
down.
Anthony Davis is going in.
Being
think
knocked
that.
out in the
So-
first round.
We have 10
Probably.
games left.
What?
10 games left in the
Around
season.
10, 11,
Probably like,
16th, 17th of April.
yeah.
All right. So let's do
Middle
a
of
bracket
April.
this week.
Yeah, well,
It's probably going to be like.
No, we can't do a bracket till they're finalized.
You're right. You're right.
Because if we do a bracket now, you're going to have
Well,
Utah as the 8 seed, and then the season's going to end, and Denver's going to be in it, and then everybody's bracket's wrong immediately.
I took to heart what you said about the being the same, the position.
Yeah, well, I could be wrong. And I don't know if you've ever
You
listened to
are
our
never
own shows,
wrong.
but we're never right.
That's not true.
Look at our MLB free agency thing.
Hey, where's Frank Gore?
Oh, it's time.
Oh, yes.
It's time for the apology segment.
Yeah, well, Kevin also has to do his
Well, Mark,
private
since
stuff.
I always have to take a shot for calling people out. You have to.
Why?
Because you called me out.
We talked about this on the car.
In the car.
In the car
Private
on the way here.
It'd be cool if we rode on the car on the way here, though. Now, so question then. So, since I have a Jeep, if we take the top off, are we on the car now because there's no roof?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so you're
Most
kind of right then. Souls?
What's up?
Well, do your shot.
Sure.
So Souls would like to issue a formal apology. This was his doing, saying that he wanted to issue an apology on air. So
Oh, I just basically said it. The Sixers don't need LeBron James.
that wasn't what the apology.
That's not what
was
we're
about.
talking about.
That was the apology.
No, the apology was about Frank Gore. You said.
Gore.
Never said that.
What?
Never said anything about Frank Gore.
So you said the apology. So when you sent the apology text to the group chat,
It was never about Frank Gore.
it was about LeBron James.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about Frank Gore. He's a Dolphin. He's not going to do anything. They just signed Brock Osweiler, too.
Not a bad signing.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible.
How so? He's a veteran. He's been in some big games. Beat the Patriots in the regular season.
You going to sit here and argue me that Brock Osweiler was a good player?
He's decent.
You could take that.
No. Listen, he won games. Where's Tannehill? What's he been doing?
He's still there.
Kyle loves
Injured?
Tannehill.
He's better than Osweiler.
They're probably on the same plane.
Yeah.
Kyle, don't give me that.
They're both
Don't-
sitting. They're both sitting in the cargo hold on a passenger plane.
Tannehill's won just as many
While-
big games,
while
I'm
Brady's
sure.
flying it.
Osweiler
What
sucks.
big games?
Exactly. Kyle, give Osweiler a chance.
Does anybody else remember
We
that game?
have.
Does anybody else remember that game like 2 years ago, where when Tannehill like opened up the game? I don't know. I think it was against the Bengals. Tannehill opened up the game with like an 82-yard pass to it was like to Landry or to somebody. But he opened up the game with an 82-yard pass on like the second down of the first drive, and 82-yard touchdown pass, and then I think he finished the game with like 110 yards.
Classic Tannehill.
Yeah, I remember
line.
watching it 'cause for some reason I forget what it was. Oh, my quarterback went on a bye, and I forgot I'd cut my backup quarterback to like pick up some good guy off waivers. So I was like, crap, I don't have anybody. So it was between Dalton and Tannehill, and I was like, well, I know Dalton won't do anything. So I was like, well, we'll give Tannehill a shot. And then that first pass happened, I was like, ooh, and then the rest of the game was just like, eugh. It was pretty terrible. I think it was like 2 years ago that happened. I'm trying to remember.
Well, it definitely wasn't last year.
No, it wasn't last year. He's so bad. They should have re-signed Cutler.
You think Cutler comes back?
I think he finally joins Fox.
If a team wants to give him a chance, I don't think Cutler's going to seek options. I just think if a team wants to give him the chance, I think he'll take it, type of thing.
I think he'd fit pretty well in Arizona.
I think he would too. Have the good check down option with Fitzgerald and the deep threat.
It is the desert.
With David Johnson.
He's an
Yeah,
older quarterback.
he's good with the receiving. He's good with receiving backs. Very good with receiving backs.
Dry heat's good for the arm.
Jay Cutler beat the New England Patriots in a regular season game.
That's right. A lot of good things happening in Miami for quarterbacks, especially with Osweiler coming to town. Souls, comment?
Why do you like him?
I don't. I know it bothers you.
The next quarterback's going to be Patton Oswalt. So, I don't know. I mean, Charlotte's hot, but it doesn't mean anything. They're too far out. Because without Kemba, they don't have any offense, except for when Dwight goes off, which is far and few between. I don't know. To me, I'm really just like, for Kyle, he's excited because of 76ers, but like, I don't know. I'm just gearing up for another really boring playoffs.
See, I'm excited because this is the first year I've really followed the NBA, and the team that I support is going to make the playoffs.
Yeah,
So that's good.
And
You
if
gonna watch any of those games?
the team,
I'll watch playoffs.
if the seedings finishes the way it is, they'll probably make it through the first round.
Who are they playing?
They'd play Portland.
PELS.
Portland will choke. They do it all the time. So
Keyboard.
Oh, I was like,
you
what
never
the hell
know.
was that?
You could see the Pels go through the first round. I think they'll make it through the first round if they don't fall to the 7 seed.
I got a crisp new Anthony Davis shirt that'll look nice throughout the playoffs.
Got to get you a jersey.
Yeah, I was going to, but I was trying to spend under $16.
So you were looking on those
$16
Chinese
was
websites.
You think
Goes the
you think
cap.
they could beat the Thunder?
Yeah, I do. You don't?
It's up in the air. Either team could win that series.
Okay. Good insight.
I would think the Thunder would win now.
There's a 50-50 shot one of those teams is winning.
It would be like going to game 6 or 7.
All right.
Every team, every away team is going to sweep this year.
Be a record.
Rockets and Warriors are probably meeting in the Western Finals.
Yep.
Unless the Warriors don't get healthy.
Hey,
There's pretty much no chance the Warriors can fall to the 3 seed. I think it's actually mathematically impossible for them to do that. So they're pretty much guaranteed the 2 seed.
Then Steph got hurt as soon as he came back.
Yeah, he's out until the playoffs. But like I said, I think it's mathematically impossible for them to fall any farther in the seeding, so I don't think it really matters. I think Golden State would be fine with being the 2 seed. Have home games so they play Houston, and then for that one, it really just which team decides they want to play defense that game. It's really what it's going to come down to. For Golden State, it's like I don't know. Like every time I watch a Golden State game, they've got some great defenders, but they just like don't play defense
They don't care.
because they know they can just drop 150 points. It's like Kevin Durant was a great defender in Oklahoma City. Haven't seen that in Golden State. Klay Thompson has not been the defensive player that he was the past 2 years. I mean, Draymond Green even hasn't been as defensively a giant as he was. He's just been a really big rebound machine.
They'll turn it on, though. They're just going through the motions.
Yeah.
it's funny. You don't really. I mean, I can't say this for sure, but you don't really see NBA teams like sit players going in like to the playoffs, kind of like in football. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's week 16.
Because it's a joke that any team does that. I think it's a giant joke, even for the NFL. It's so stupid.
I don't agree with it, but it's so prevalent.
I don't like it, but I see in the NFL just because you don't want to see someone get hurt right before. I hate it too.
But teams like the Steelers have done it. Like where like the people have like not just the Steelers, but it's just the first one that came to my mind. But like teams have rested players in week 17 when they have the first round bye.
Yeah.
Like what the hell's the point of that? Like, oh, our running back just ran for 300 yards the past 1 week, 8 touchdowns, 47 receptions for 649 yards. He did all that in a game against the Browns. Let's rest him for 3 weeks. Make sure he's fresh. Get that mojo really cracking.
Making your players cold.
Well, the offense wasn't the issue in that game. So the wrestling wasn't the problem. But they played the entire defense. They just suck.
God, what are you talking? We're not talking about that
I don't
game.
know
I'm
what
talking
it's
about wrestling players. Like, the wrestling players wasn't the problem.
We're talking about Steelers Jags. That we're
Yeah.
talking about. Just a bad game.
Like, the players actually probably helped the players that were rested.
Kyle, so you're turning this discussion about resting players into like you defending the Steelers.
No, I'm just saying that resting players isn't really that big of a deal if you already clinched.
It's dumb.
Not.
It is dumb. Why do you need to rest players?
What if Ben Roethlisberger played Week 17 against the Browns and then broke his collarbone, and then you'll be saying they're dumb for not resting him?
I would have never said that. Never in a million years. I've been against resting players my whole life. I will never.
Well-
It happens. Injuries happen. It's a freak of nature.
But everybody else would have been going against the Steelers saying you should have
cares?
rested. You should have rested him.
These players, they get paid millions of dollars. Yep. All right. Yeah, you can sit on the bench.
I could defend more if, let's say, Ben started the game, and even if they're down, at halftime, pull
Yeah,
them.
if you're gonna pull them, that's fine. But you don't like resting a player for 3 weeks.
I mean, I
It's
think
stupid.
I've seen a lot of players become cold from resting, and it's happened to the Steelers. I mean,
Yeah,
and that's not what happened this year. I agree with that. It's not what happened this year, but it has happened to a lot of teams.
And to be fair, your offense came out very flat against Jacksonville, and they were all rested in that game against the Browns.
They scored a lot of second half points.
Yeah, a lot of down by a lot points, and a lot of them. I think didn't you guys score 3 touchdowns on 4th down,
Yeah, it was incredible.
and all in the second half? So your offense did come out flat and very cold.
We turned over the ball twice in the first half.
So I don't know, but it's not football. It's just all sports. I don't agree with resting players. Like if there's injury loomingness or stuff like that, that's different. Like if a player came back from a hamstring injury or something like that, and they're playing on reserved minutes, or they're going to play a game and then take a game off while they're just kind of recoup through the injury, that's different. But if you're just resting healthy players to rest them, it's dumb.
Well, baseball can see why they rest them.
Well, no, but they physically need the rest. That's different. Because you play 10 straight games in 11 days. That's different. In football, you play one game, and then you've got the next 4 to 6 days off. I get you have practice, but it just doesn't fly. I did a lot of lifting at work the past 5 days. I'm gonna go ahead and take Monday off.
That's with
pay.
I don't like
do
it. I see the merit behind it. I don't like it, but teams are gonna always do it. It's not gonna stop.
I think it should be worked into contracts. I think if you're arrested, you shouldn't be paid. Why? Why should you get paid? If your contract works out to you getting $4 million a game, why the hell should the team be paying you $4 million to sit on the bench?
But that may not come down to the player's decision. If it's the coaching staff that sits them, now the coach is determining whether...
the coach shouldn't get paid. Fuck them all. Nobody should get paid. It should be free.
Week 17 is pro bono.
I don't know. Wrestling players, to me, it's a joke.
Well, I think they do it too. You kind of get a small sample size of what other players on your team can do. If you get into the playoffs and all of a sudden, your starting running back is now hurt, you have a better idea of what your backup and third string running. It just kind of.
I don't know. That's what preseason and practice are for.
Fuck Fitzgerald Toussaint.
I
disagree. Prime example.
I disagree. He had some good games.
Yeah, he did.
It was a bad time to fumble.
And he's not the only guy. Wait a minute. Are you talking about versus the Ravens?
I'm just saying.
Because Toussaint was not the guy who fumbled. That was what's his face there. Ben.
I thought it was Toussaint.
No.
He didn't fumble?
No. You guys are thinking of
Ben Tate.
Ben Tate was the guy we signed for that one game and fumbled and ruined it for us. Toussaint is innocent.
I thought he fumbled too. Because I remember Mendenhall did it.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
You're thinking of Ben Tate. Toussaint, I'm sure, has fumbled in the regular season, but he's never been costly.
I thought he fumbled in the playoffs.
Don't know.
If you're thinking versus the Ravens, I'm pretty sure it's Ben
I
Tate.
don't remember what game it was.
Oh, I remember. All excited. Oh, yeah, Ben Tate, he's okay. No, he was not okay.
I don't usually watch Steelers playoffs games. I'm usually too busy watching Kyle's dad burn the house down on the first drive. Oh yeah, they scored a touchdown, but they fucking did it in 5 plays. What a fucking joke. He would say that.
Yeah.
That's where you get it from.
It's his fault.
Is Bob listening today?
I don't know. Probably not. Shout out, Dad.
We'll have to get him on the
Shout out, Dad.
He's not coming on.
We'll convince
He'll
him.
never come on.
We'll buy him lunch.
We have a better chance of Larry coming on.
That works too.
Larry would be fun.
I'd like to see Larry on here. I'd like to see him punch Kyle right in the face in the air.
We don't want LeBron.
Oh, he's a big LeBron advocate.
So you guys don't trust the process?
No, we trust it. But it doesn't hurt to add somebody like LeBron
That's
James.
not trusting the
It
process.
doesn't hurt to add the best player in the league.
We fucking went through the process. Now we're ending the process, and then we're going for a title.
I hope if he goes to Philly is when he just has his dramatic drop off. And they're just stuck with him for like 3 years.
Kyle thinks that he's going to have the drop off.
Yeah.
That's why he won't impede on Embiid.
Ooh, that was
that
a
on a
J-Mart
shirt.
type thing there.
Yeah, but it actually worked. it was correct usage. I don't know. We haven't really talked anything about sports at all. Like any NBA stuff, we've just been arguing with each other.
That's what the people want.
P-E-L-S.
Pels.
Write it down. Pels and 6.
You think they're going to go all the way in your lifetime?
They could.
We're probably going to lose Davis.
It doesn't look that way. Because Davis is campaigning for Boogie to come back.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean Davis will come back, though.
It's happened.
Demarcus, come back. All right, real quick.
I'm out of here.
I'm leaving.
Then Davis will get a really big contract from Boston, and then he'll fucking sign it.
Paulson. No, he's going to the Sixers.
No.
Him and LeBron are going to the Sixers.
I can see him going to Boston.
Trust the new process.
Yeah.
That old process, all fluff. Bigger in the works here.
Could you imagine if, like, I'd love to see Kyle's face if we got, like, a nice little ticker across the screen. It's just like, LeBron James to sign with 76ers. 76ers expected to make trade for Kevin Love and J.R. Smith, Ben Simmons for 2 players and second round pick.
I'd absolutely murder Brian Colangelo.
Why? It'd be a good trust the process. You
You
bring in,
don't
yeah, because
trade
you bring in
Ben
the best player in the game, and then you bring in some players that he knows how to play
Yeah.
with and stuff. I mean, it
Exactly.
worked out great for Miami when they brought down what's his face down there.
Trust the process,
What's
right?
what the fuck's his name in there? Ogauskas. Won championships. They gave LeBron
Trust
a
the
face he knew.
process, right?
No, it's different.
Why is it different?
It's a process.
Because the Sixers aren't
And I
going to
trust
bring
him.
in older guys to have the roster to do it with just LeBron.
I think they have the roster to do it with just the roster.
I think most teams have it to just do it with just LeBron. Like,
No,
add
that's not
LeBron
true.
Add LeBron to almost any team, puts them in the playoffs.
In the playoffs, they're going to win. You put LeBron in the Nets, they're an 8 seed.
Hey, you can score. You can win from the 8 seed. What do you mean no?
He wouldn't win a championship with the Nets if he went there.
It's all speculation.
I
How
know.
could you say
But they're
that?
not good.
Yeah, but I don't think he'd win one with the 76ers. Doesn't just because he's why? Because you have the big 3 of him, Simmons, and Embiid.
They're talented enough. With that, if those 3 play together, they're talented enough to beat the Warriors or the Rockets.
Okay, but I mean, Wade Bosch and LeBron James were more than talented enough to beat the Mavericks, and they didn't.
Yeah, but then they won 3 other titles.
But they lost to the Mavericks, is what I'm saying.
Okay, but Dirk deserves one.
I'm not.
No, that's not an
Yeah,
argument.
but it is, but I'm just saying.
And I'm just
The
saying.
Mavericks team was really good.
And okay, but they weren't better. Nobody on their team, no 3 players on
No,
their team.
but I'm just saying, like, things happen.
You're right. Teams
Okay.
upset other teams.
Yeah.
So the Sixers get LeBron and lose
Okay, that could happen.
to Portland.
That would be fun.
That's why Kyle's the only person I know that's like, his teams can lose the final game as long as it's to a team he likes.
Right.
Like, oh, that's fine. I
That's
don't care.
okay.
It's like, oh, Kyle, the Phillies are playing the Rockies in the NLCS. Oh, I don't care then. That's fine. The Rockies can win. I like them.
Or the Giants.
That's happened.
Yeah.
I saw that happen to Kyle. We were playing a game in the living room,
I almost
like a
cried.
board game, and he's over in actually Jeff's parents' room. They weren't home. He's watching the game in their room alone. We hear something happened, and Kyle comes out and throws down his hat. It's like, Kyle, it's your role.
Fuck Cody Ross.
He was a good guy.
Yeah, he's a dick. He ruined my
He's a
time.
good guy, but he's a dick.
Yeah, Cody Ross does kind of suck.
So who's going to the finals?
This year?
Pelicans.
No, in 3 years.
Cavs Rockets.
In 3 years?
No, in 3 years?
I just said in 3 years.
I don't know.
You think it's Cavs Rockets this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Houston, Philly.
Just to prove Kyle wrong about LeBron James.
Yep.
Cavs Rockets.
Okay, I'm happy to be proved wrong.
No, I don't know. The Cavs, I mean, I think they'll be in the Eastern final, but I think the Sixers will beat them.
Stick with my prediction from a long time ago, because it's still very much a possibility. Toronto, Portland,
Battle of the Red. I like it.
red and black.
Red and
Pels.
black.
Pels.
It's a very long trip from Toronto to Portland.
Hey, you're not making it. You're just a click of the remote away.
It's not that long.
How long is it?
I don't know. It's not as far as you think, though.
Yeah.
I don't know where Toronto is.
Toronto's in Canada.
I know that. I don't know where in Canada, though.
Who did you say? You said Cleveland and...
Houston.
I mean, that's a long trip.
Yeah, I didn't say it wasn't.
Kyle, you are just a silly guy.
I think for 1 year they should change it all up. I think the MLB should be... The NHL and the NBA should all be one game for the championship. And that's it. And then we should play a best of 7 for the Super Bowl.
Oh, my God.
But they should play it in 7 consecutive days.
A lot of injuries will happen.
I bet you won Osweiler during that.
The backup running back would become like the most essential position, and backup lineman.
Up the roster.
Yeah.
To like
Yeah.
104.
No roster changes. No February call-ups. None of that. Just 7 games, best of 7.
You're gonna
Whatever
see a
happens, happens.
lot of CTE in like 23-year-olds.
A lot of ended careers. But hey, isn't the championship what they strive for? Isn't that what makes it all worth it?
Yeah.
I can picture him at the end.
If I told you that you would I'll give you 1 year in the MLB and you're going to win a World Series, but you're going to tear both your ACLs. Would you do it?
Nope.
I would.
Nope.
At the end of the series, you're like, this trophy, it's cool. I'm glad to be played for it.
Yeah.
My shoulder hurts.
Forever.
I would do it for a gold medal in luge.
In luge.
I thought you had more to say.
Nope. That's what I got to say.
Fair enough.
I know.
Fair
So,
enough.
NBA, yeah, it's shaping up. I don't know. I just don't get excited for the NBA playoffs anymore. Until something different happens. If Portland and Toronto were able to go the whole way, or either of those teams, I'd be way more excited. But right now, it's just looking like Cleveland versus Houston or Golden State, and I don't want to see that.
Well, Houston's different.
They are, but they're not. Houston's always been, in San Antonio, have always, like, the past 4 or 5 years have been the powerhouse team that's able to compete with Golden State. Golden State's just edged them. I mean, it's like different. Like, I want like a different team in the Western Conference Finals. Like,
So you're talking New Orleans.
New Orleans would be fine. I would be fine with seeing a New Orleans Pacers Finals.
Pels.
Anybody but anybody but Golden State, Cleveland, or the 76ers. Fine with me.
Dick.
Well, I don't think the 76ers are ready. I think they need that superstar to come in, that 33 to 34-year-old superstar to come in and push them to the next level. I think LeBron can take them from a 5 seed to a 1 seed.
Before we go to break, could we make a deal with you, Mark? Once the seating is complete, could we do like a Pelicans like a rally video? We'll paint you up in purple. You can do the chant, like we could stand on the roof or something. Would you do
On
that?
the roof?
Well, I'm
Whose roof?
An elevated surface. Doesn't have to be a roof.
We could probably make something happen.
No?
As long as everybody's in it.
That's fine. Is that a verbal agreement?
Sure.
All right.
Now I gotta go buy a Baron Davis jersey.
Davis.
Yeah, or David West.
Delonte West.
Watch your freaking mouth.
I think he's in jail.
Yeah, probably. Was he the one that everybody was saying was LeBron's dad?
Yeah.
The thing.
Yeah.
NBA's weird. NBA is really weird.
I tell you, the NBA to me, I don't know if it's just the way how like prevalent it is on like reality. To me, it's like a giant reality show. I don't know.
They should have like what they have for like for WWE. They have the Total Divas.
Yeah.
They should have like Total NBA.
Well, they do. It's keeping up with the Kardashians.
Just Chloe.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Chloe's one of who?
Because Kim married Chris Humphries.
That didn't really.
That was for like 3 days.
Yeah, but Chris Humphries was like a prevalent player for the Nets. Like, I'm not saying he was like an all-star in the league, but he was a big name for the Nets. Like, he was a very important player, and then
He wasn't.
died.
And then he wasn't.
Is he playing in the Big Three?
And then Lamar Odom fell off, and then
Tristan Thompson.
Tristan Thompson's falling off.
James Harden.
nope. Why? Who'd he have sex with?
He was with Chloe.
Was he?
Oh well, then good. Then she did something different that time. 'cause-
They were saying he got out because Lamar, they found a member in like the brothel surrounded by cocaine.
James like, no.
yeah, it's all hidden in James's beard. They're still trying to get
Shakes it.
Yeah. Oh, look at that, it's snowing. But I don't know. I want to see something different. March Madness, though.
Loyola.
It's madness for sure. It's funny because like there's so much like Loyola like making it as far as it did. Like everyone's like so, but like everyone's forgetting that like Villanova's still in it.
Michigan.
Duke.
Yeah,
Michigan.
Like they definitely Loyola could definitely win it all, but they got a pretty rough path to get there once they get to the Final Four, or once the Final Four is all set and ready to go. It's definitely not going to be a cakewalk for them.
No, they're playing Michigan next.
But I mean, they handled Kansas State, and Kansas State's a really good defensive team, like very good.
Just they don't have an offense.
But I'm saying, but like
No, I know.
but they're very good defensively, and you know they were able to beat them by dub dig.
K-State.
Nope, shut up. I think it's almost break time. Break time
just
now.
about
Time to
break
take a break.
Second hour, we'll have I don't know, some crap to ramble about.
Facebook Live.
Yeah, we think we'll do some recaps on some of our MLB free agency predictions from a previous show, and maybe a little NHL playoff pictures. We'll see what happens.
We'll be back.
Welcome back to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm joined by the same people.
Yeah, we're all here. Came back.
The same people.
We've had a couple changes. We've had some starters get pulled out of the game and have gone to the bullpen. Maxine and Solzay. Who's in to close the game?
My closer I'm bringing in from 6 Point Brewery, the Low Res IPA.
Solzay
And I got Miller Lite.
in the 25-ounce can.
That's right.
Beautiful. I gotta say, I like Maxine's power and uniqueness of pitches, but your guy definitely has longevity and consistency.
That's right. That's what I'm going for.
So it's gonna be a real battle. Who's gonna win?
Miller Lite.
Okay, all right, that's fair. So Souls did a little math work during the break. We did some shows back. The boys, including J-Mart, did some free agency predictions on where they thought some
Very quick math.
top prospects would land for MLB free agency. And as per usual, we just sucked at everything. So why don't you go ahead, Souls, and give them the winner?
Kendall was the winner with 2 correct.
2 out of how many?
Like 600.
20.
Beautiful. All right.
He got Zach Kozar going to the Angels, and Mike Moustakas going back to Kansas City, right?
Nice. And then everybody else?
I had 1, which was Todd Frazier going to the Mets, and then nobody else had any.
Good.
Hi, Dave
Sometimes
Walsh.
you have like an ear to the business, you know what I mean? And for myself especially, I just know what's going on. You know, and Kyle, you have kind of like a semblance of that, so
Yeah.
I commend you.
Well, Kyle's in most locker rooms. He always knows what they're saying, what the players are feeling.
You, sir, are going to get your ass kicked.
Why?
He's just a dickhead.
That's fair. Spring training's almost up, right?
Correct.
When do we
Next on Thursday, season starts.
Season starts, and who's got the first game? Don't know, Kyle?
I don't know who's the first actual game. Everybody's playing on the 29th.
I always thought Cincinnati was the first game.
Everybody plays on the 29th.
I feel like I always see Cincinnati's game televised.
This is the first time, actually, since like the 60s that every single team playing on the same day.
Well, that's how it should be.
I agree, but they don't do that for some reason.
Mark, do you have us on PPRN? Are we live? You're picking us up or no?
I have the Facebook video, yeah.
Facebook video? Okay, cool. So that's where you can find us. Chat with us.
Yeah.
You also chat with us on ppronradionet.com.
Yeah, head over to the website.
But you'll be talking to Mock and the Riddler if you have anything to say. So don't be afraid. If you hate what we're saying, let us know.
Rebecca, were you able to find the video?
What's on? It's on the PPRN Facebook page.
Yes. I believe so.
Yeah, that's what we're on right now.
So can't help but feel like what we had to say wasn't important enough for the Red Baron. Because they really felt the need to cut us off.
I just wanted people to know where we were.
Should have let off with that.
Yeah, you should have said
We
excuse
were
me.
having an
or something.
important conversation. Back to what we were talking about. Souls. LeBron James is over. That was the last segment, so we can be friends now.
Yeah.
So let's gang up on that guy.
Mets are going to lose 141 games this year.
Probably more than that.
That'd be terrible.
Crumple up those papers, Kyle.
Cup them up.
Yeah, show them what we think. Yeah, that's right. Yep, close garbage can.
Would have made it though. So for baseball, I mean, let's do a quick around the horn kind of thing. What do you? We kind of talked about some expectations and whatnot, but what are you looking forward to, and what do you think your team's weak point's going to be this year for the Phillies?
So our weak points is definitely going to be starting pitching after Nola and Arrieta. Big drop off. I'm just looking forward to the young kids actually producing in the lineup. You saw the other day I was watching the game on spring training. The starting lineup was out there. They put up 8 runs in 4 innings. I'm hoping that's what I can see all year round.
Pretty much ditto for you, what you said for the White Sox. Our starting pitching, it really falls off after everyone. The ace, we were looking at some ratings in the show. Our best starting pitcher is like a 74.
James Shields?
No, that wasn't James Shields.
Oh, it was Carlos Rodon. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But big game James, though.
Yeah, he was like a 62. But I'm excited to see the youth movement kind of finally come to fruition. Garcia and Anderson and Makata and hopefully Kopech comes up sooner rather than later. But the youth movement's finally coming around. I'm excited to see them kind of make those steps.
Red Baron.
Very excited for the pitching. Have the potential to be best in league, if not, second best.
No Jason Vargas, though.
No Jason Vargas.
Wasn't Matt Harvey like a 50 in the game?
68.
Yeah, I mean, what a steep fall off for him. But I think the pitching can stay healthy. A lot of promise with Thor and DeGrom. The Mets have made it evident that they're going to score their runs from the home run ball. So live and die with the home run. I'm hoping that the young guys.
What young guys?
Well, I'm going to retract what I'm saying because that would have made sense 5 years ago. I'm just hoping that they could score runs and not just
Dude, you guys elected to go with Adrian Gonzalez over your youth first baseman Dominic Smith.
Hey.
And Adrian Gonzalez is pretty much done.
Yeah, listen. Like I said, they're planning to do the home run ball.
Dominic Smith's also a home run hitter.
You're just reiterating what I'm saying already.
But I don't understand. Why would you go sign Adrian Gonzalez?
I'm not in the front office.
Well, you should ask them. I don't get it.
I'm not making these type of decisions.
Why not?
Mark?
Yes.
Why aren't you making those types of decisions?
Me?
Yeah.
I can't get to New York enough. I don't have the time.
Because you would have to take a train, and trains are dumb.
Well, I'm going to take the commuter rail, yeah. It's probably one of the worst ways to travel ever.
Yeah. What about you, Yankees?
What about them? Expectations?
No, expectations. Like, what are you most excited to see from the Yankees this season, and what do you think are some like the big area of improvement concern for the Yankees?
I'm very excited to see the offense, because to me, I mean, we can all see on paper their offense should be explosive.
Playing in like a softball park.
It may be off to a slow start in the beginning till everyone settles in, but I think the Yankees are going to score a lot of runs.
They're going to average like 5 runs a game.
At least.
No, I say 5. 5.2.
But I mean, to me, like when they went into the offseason, I wanted them to go out and sign like a Jake Arrieta, one of the big name pitchers. But now, they brought in Stanton. I know he's not a pitcher, but as long as their pitching doesn't give up, 5 runs a game, 6 runs, I think the Yankees should be fine without that super top-end pitching talent.
Kyle went yard with Arrieta in the show last night. We got Bumgarner for that purpose, and then he ended up doing it with Arrieta.
Well, Arrieta's done it too.
Yeah, but not as impressively as Bumgarner. Actually, it's like a 400-foot bomb, wasn't it?
394.
400 feet. Yeah, okay. It was really important to correct me.
Yeah.
Good for you.
What?
So,
He likes calling you out.
yeah, I know. Why do you hate me so much, Kyle? I thought we were friends this segment.
We are. I just said the number.
You corrected me. You made me feel like scum.
No, mock scum.
All right. Well, let's talk WrestleMania. So,
Rebecca, don't get excited.
Oh, Rebecca, your mic is off.
If you're on your best behavior, muted myself. If you're on your best behavior, maybe the day of, we'll let you talk about it for 5 minutes.
it's not happening.
Well, we don't know because that's going to be a very long show.
When's WrestleMania? What year? What day?
April 8th.
The day we're doing our mock draft.
Oh, yep. No shot. Now
You know
let's
what,
take 2 hours.
But you could do it April 1st.
Yeah.
April Fools!
Well, no, that's the day we're not recording.
But it's
That's why I
also
said
April
it.
Fools.
Yeah, I know.
Take a shot.
No.
Yeah.
So, bitch. Cut to NHL. I mean, we talked a lot about MLB last show and whatnot. So, NHL right now, the way things are shaping up, we've got a lot of teams already eliminated from contention. We talked about Chicago earlier. They're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. But for the most part, really, it's just the Atlantic Division and the Pacific Division. The Pacific Division has 3 of their 8 teams eliminated from the playoffs, and then the Atlantic Division has 4 of their 8 teams. The Metropolitan Division has nobody mathematically eliminated yet, and then in the Central, it's just Chicago. We've seen the Predators. They were the first team to clinch a playoff berth, and then in the Atlantic Division, we saw Boston and Tampa Bay clinch.
Nashville really turned it around, though, but they were struggling at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, Nashville really put together some serious stuff. We've already got 5 teams at the 100-point mark of the season with some games to go. NHL is very similar to that of NBA. Probably wrapping up pretty close to that. I know Tampa.
I think NHL will end way before NBA does.
No,
I'm talking about like playoffs wise.
no.
Because the playoffs go by quicker than the NBA.
Not really.
NHL playoffs not all the time.
Isn't it all 7-game series?
No, they're all 7-game series, just like
Well,
the
I'm saying
NBA.
like they do more back to back. But NBA will play one and have 3 days off, and then
Well, because the NHL will do a lot of stuff like they'll do like when the Stanley Cup comes around, there's always at least a day of buffer. They don't play back-to-back games, but generally they don't ever play back-to-back games in the playoffs. They'll do like for television purposes, they'll do they'll play if they play Monday game 1, it'll be Monday game 1, then they'll play game 2 on Wednesday, and then they'll play game 3 because they'll travel either Friday or Saturday depending on the travel time. If it worked out where like Tampa Bay was playing Florida, then it would probably just be the 1 day of rest because they would probably all just drive themselves. But if it worked out where Tampa Bay was playing Ottawa,
yeah,
they would probably get the 2 days of rest because it's flights and all that stuff. But
Hey, Peter and Eddie.
shut up.
Just out of nowhere.
Well, hey, they're jumping in. I want to make sure I say hi to them.
So we got we got 5 teams that have busted that 100-point mark
Golden Knights.
so far, or 4 teams. Sorry, 4 teams that have busted the 100-point mark. Vegas at 101. Vegas and Winnipeg were the only 2 teams so far that haven't clinched because their divisions are a little more. But the way it's shaping up right now, if the playoffs were to start today, the 8 teams that would make it would be the Lightning, the Bruins, the Maple Leafs, the Capitals, the Penguins, the Blue Jackets, and then those would be the 3 respective teams from each division, and then the Flyers and the Devils in the wild card. And then out of the West, we would have the Predators, the Jets, the Wild, then the Golden Knights, the Sharks, the Ducks, and the wild card teams from the West would be the Avalanche and the Blues. So Kyle finally getting some foot in his mouth from the Avalanche fans out there. Kyle's been very vocal about how much the Avalanche suck, with almost no facts to back it up. But
Kindness always finds a way to win.
well, it's very good because right now the way it's shaping up for the wild card for the West, you've got the Avalanche sitting at 90 points and the Blues sitting at 89, and then the Kings are also at 89 points. But underneath them is Dallas and Calgary at 84 and 80. So it's there's not a whole lot of games left, less than the NBA. Trying to do the math in my head, it's not working out that well. But they're at the 70 plus mark. It doesn't look like Dallas or Calgary will really be able to pull it out, which will be interesting because for the past few years, it's pretty much been the 3 central teams from the division, and then the 2 wildcard teams have also been central teams. Centrals have really dominated the playoffs, and so now it's going to be, that helps with the Blackhawks having a terrible year and whatnot. It's going to be like teams like the Blackhawks sucking, and the Rangers and the Islanders not being able to get it done. The Kings potentially missing the playoffs. It opens up the Edmonton. It opens up a lot of doors for teams like Vegas, obviously as the expansion team, but Tampa was really able to turn things around. Toronto's got a little bit more experience now. Washington will still shit the bed, but it'll be interesting.
Now, Vegas, I think I was reading this the other day. They're the first expansion team to have 100 points in their first season.
Probably. I didn't see that,
I saw
but
something like that the
wouldn't
other
doubt
day.
it. It's just, you could imagine with any sport, just imagine any sport having an expansion draft. Your talent is coming from, basically teams are saying, okay, we're going to save these players. These are the guys you can pick from. And you're picking a bunch of guys that have no chemistry. They're not, there's been expansion teams in the NHL that have had success, but not this level of it.
Now, I know, outside of hockey, because football had expansion, but I don't remember when it happened. Do they do the same draft type thing?
It's interesting. When the Panthers did it, you know who one of their players they selected was? Bill Goldberg. Pretty incredible.
But, do you think the Knights have a shot to, make the deep run, or is it going to...
No, yeah, they definitely do. Because that's the thing with the NHL, with the expansion draft, is that the really hard part, in my opinion, is the chemistry and bringing these players together. Yeah. You're having them playing in front of a fan base. The fans are always excited right off the start, But if the team doesn't build that success right away, sometimes the fan interest drops a little bit. It's still there, but it drops. I mean, you go from sellout crowds to three-quarter capacity. But they've been consistent all season. They've been putting up points. They've been winning. They've been scoring goals. They had a really great run to start the season and everything, and they got, some real veteran players. I mean, they got James Neal, who was just in the Stanley Cup Finals. And so they're ready, like the team has the experience. They've got some ex-Blackhawks on their team who've got the coaching and the veteran staff that built those players. So, they're ready to go. Like I said, James Neal, Marc-Andre Fleury, they've got the players, like they're ready to make a run. Will it happen? You don't know, because to me that's the joy of hockey versus any other sport. Is if any sport were to keep the 7-game series, it'd have to be hockey, because it's the only sport where just crazy shit happens.
Yeah.
I mean, like in baseball, like you get some freak of nature things that happen, but it's not as common. And like in basketball, like how often are you seeing someone throw a pass and it's bouncing off of someone's head and going in the hoop? Like it doesn't happen. It's just it does, but it's not common. Same thing with football. Like football, the turnovers, they're detrimental to your team, and that's why I think sometimes people wish that there was a little bit more in the playoffs, But with hockey, what was it just the other day?
Just so fast paced. Everything happens.
Yeah,
so fast.
It's nuts. It's fast paced. The dimensions of the rinks are all the same, but the boards aren't all the same. There's certain bounces off of boards, that happen. I've seen pucks ricochet off of glass supports and go on goal when the goalie was going behind the goal to play it. And I gotta find out who it was. You guys will like this one. I gotta look it up. Chat amongst yourselves.
Stall.
Well, the Penguins looking for a three-peat.
Yeah, Kyle, you just find a way to like these teams, and
Well, Kyle's
they
always
win.
been a Penguins fan his whole life.
Bitch, when have I ever not liked the Penguins?
Kyle, you barely like hockey.
But they're my team.
It was the all right, I got it. It was you want to talk about freak of nature things. Talk about how fast paced it is and whatnot. Cam Ward, the goalkeeper for I think it's the Hurricanes. A puck got shot in down ice around the boards, and Cam Ward went behind the net to play it. And the puck came in so fast that he lost sight of the puck, and it actually got lodged in the hole in his skate. And that's considered a live puck still, because the ref could see it. In hockey, as long as the ref can see it, it's a live puck.
Yeah.
So did they start hitting his skate?
No, he didn't know where the puck went, so he skated back to his net, and his skate went in the net, and it was a goal against him.
That's terrible.
That doesn't happen in the NBA. That doesn't happen in baseball. In football, no player's ever like, oh, shit, where'd the ball go? Let me run to my own end zone. Oh, crap, safety. Like, it doesn't happen.
all I have the whole time.
But that shit happens in hockey. Like, you see it at least once a season. If you watch hockey regularly, you see at least once a season. They have to stop the game for 5 minutes because the goalie blocks the puck, but it ricochets off of his body into one of his pads, and they have to take pads off to find the puck. Like, it just shit happens. It's weird.
I remember that happened once with Andre Fleury. He came out of the net to play the puck off the wall, and it bounced farther than he thought, and it ended up going in.
Yeah, and the thing too is you see weird stuff that just doesn't really happen. In baseball, you'll see it a player will misjudge a ball and they'll dive for it and it'll get past them and it scores a run, or it will advance like a runner. But for goalies, you see a goalie will come out of the crease to play a puck and it'll just get misjudged and it'll go in. And so it's just there's so many lucky bounces and weird things that happen in hockey. And let's not forget too, baseball and football have this, but not to the extent where the referees are in the action. Really in the action. In the NFL, you really only have kind of one NFL that's in the action, and it's the defensive referee, the referee on the defensive side of the ball that will kind of be in the middle of the field between the safeties and the linebackers from time to time.
He makes a lot of tackles.
But generally, he doesn't really make that big of an impact on the game. MLB, how often do you really see the umpire get hit by the ball or something like that? And when it happens, does it count? Do they re-hit it?
It's a dead ball.
No.
It's a dead ball.
Is
so
it, though?
in hockey,
It's in fair territory?
Yeah, it's a dead ball.
In hockey, if the puck hits the ref, you play.
Keep going.
There's time, the refs will be on the board and the puck will come. Instead of skating after the puck like they're supposed to do, they jump up and grab the top of the glass and lift themselves up so the players can get by them. And that happened to the Bruins. I forget who it was. He had the 2 goals, something like that, 2 or 3 goals in back-to-back games. The puck, the defense was trying to clear the puck out, and so they shot it down, and it hit the referee in the back and landed 6 feet in front of the goal, and a Bruins player came in and slap-shotted it right in the goal. And it's a good goal. Puck's always live.
How was the ref after?
He was fine.
All right.
But like...
What a humanitarian.
Good guy souls.
For the fans and the crew here as well, there's a lot of good hockey pages out there. NHL memes, NHL discussion, stuff like that. You gotta follow those pages. I mean, they do a lot of like news updates and stuff. So I mean, but they show like the funny stuff and all that. Because the thing with hockey is, unlike the other 3 major sports in the United States, there's things like soccer. It's played a lot all over the world, and you see a lot of interesting. Like there's like leagues like Sweden or like college leagues, like all kinds of stuff. Where like you see stuff where like a player gets pissed off at a ref and will hit him with his stick. And like there's a video, a very popular video, where the ref he took off his helmet and he started punching the player in the face, and the refs were trying to separate the ref from the player.
That's awesome.
Like it just
That happens in baseball sometimes if the home plate umpire is kind of not.
after they kick some dirt at each other, like I'm gonna choose first.
It happens like if a pitcher and the home plate umpire kind of get into it. He'll kind of look at the catcher and like, hey, don't catch this one. And just kind of hit him in the face mask.
But the coach is doing it through somebody else, whereas the ref is just like, I'm going to punch this guy in the face myself. I'm going to do it, and I don't care what happens. But baseball, it's a little more sissy. I'm going to kick some dirt at your shoes. Your wife doesn't make a good apple pie, you bastard. And
Hey, well, you know what's going to happen. Now you got to umpire the rest of that game with dirt in your shoes.
You got a point there.
You know how uncomfortable that is?
Have you ever been to the beach?
Especially if that happens in like the 3rd inning, you're done for.
done for.
You're done. Those socks, you got to throw them out.
Kyle doesn't.
But
No, he's going to wear them the next day.
the thing, I don't know. The thing too with hockey is just like, I feel like in the MLB, in my opinion, generally like the higher seeded team generally comes out on top. With NBA, you might see a lower, like you do see a little bit of upsets, but for the most part, like the exciting part of a lower seed is you're just hoping, like, you know, like if you were to see the Pelicans going up against the Rockets, like the exciting thing would be if the Pelicans are able to force a 7-game series against the Rockets. Like that's a good series at that point. Like you're
Pelicans
really
can beat the Rockets.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like they were the first lower seeded team I could think of. But like with hockey, like you see it all the time. It just happens so much.
Because, like you said, I think because a lot of it can just, I don't want to say luck, but it comes down to chance. You know, a puck takes an odd bounce and that puts you up a goal, and and now you have some momentum, and it's a different type of game.
Yeah, very momentum-driven sport.
Baseball, you got to figure in a 7-game series. You know, you have your 3 or 4 pitchers. They each get their matchup. It's just a different style.
We should see one 7-game series for World Series where the pitcher has to pitch all 7 games.
Baumgartner would be sick.
No, not right now with his broken hand.
Well, if they get to the playoffs.
Yeah, do we have a timetable on that at all?
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Something.
So he'll only miss like the first 4 weeks of the season, 4 or 5
But
weeks.
the
of
other
the
thing
season.
said he's expected back like right before the All-Star break, which I thought was kind of weird.
They moved the All-Star break up to May 1st.
They want to get out of the way early.
Yeah.
It all depends on how his recovery had.
Well, no. So what they did was they moved the All-Star break up to May 1st, and then the season ends May 30th. And then what they do is all after the 2 months, the 2 worst teams in each conference or not a conference but a league, American League and NL, don't make it, and then the rest of them play 7-game series all the way through to October.
That'd be really
I
annoying.
want to be honest. I couldn't really follow what you just said. You lost me.
What? So it was more of a reference. I don't know if anybody really picked it up, but it was more of a reference to that. Anybody ever see Basketball? Mm-hmm. The
The movie's pretty bad.
the South Park
Whoa,
creators there.
whoa.
And
No, that
well,
movie
it's just-
isn't good.
But it's just funny because they do the playoff bracket thing. Where it's like they do a round robin tournament of 7 through, and then the winners of that advance to a best of 16. And it's like the playoffs took like a year to get through.
Then they started the next week.
Yeah, and then they start the next week. And it's like the weird scene where like Trey Parker's making out with him like on the seesaw thing, and just it's a very odd movie. Big fan.
Me too.
Big fan. We'll have to do that. We'll do one show. We'll have to do one of our hour
Basketball
segments.
review.
No, not basketball. We'll have to do sports movies. Let's talk sports movies. You guys have anything to add though to NHL at all? I know, Kyle, you said Penguins have a chance to three-peat. Do you think they will?
No,
They want LeBron James.
that's really hard to do.
They got to bring in LeBron.
It is very hard to do.
I think teams are going to come for him and play more physical with him.
Well, the thing, too, is the Penguins haven't been... I mean, they're a 90-point team, which is no slouch. They do have the potential to make the 100-point... break the 100-point plateau, but they haven't been consistent all year. Like, they're not... It hasn't been the Pittsburgh team we've seen. This Pittsburgh team, 90 points is great, and we've seen them finish with 90 points and go very deep into the playoffs, but it just hasn't been the consistency all season. As of late, maybe the past 20 games, 20, 30 games, it's been very good. But, I mean, there were some times in the middle there where they were struggling.
Well, if they play the Capitals, they'll beat them.
See, I think
What, you mean in the finals?
Yeah.
I think you can look at the Penguins almost like how teams right now are looking at the Cavaliers, where they're kind of sputtering through the regular season, but once the playoffs hit, they're going to be fine.
Yeah, they'll flip the switch.
They've been there so much that the team knows how to get through the playoffs. It's just going to be business as usual for them.
So, do this. I mean, I have a feeling I know who most of the answers are going to be, but who's the team to beat in the West and the East for you guys? So, like I said, again, in the East, we got, we won't do the wild card teams. I mean, they can be hot, but your division leaders, we got Tampa and Boston, and then Washington and Pittsburgh, and then out West, it's Nashville and Winnipeg, and then Vegas and San Jose.
For me, I say Vegas and Tampa.
Okay. Right, Baron?
Can't sleep on Nashville. Mr. Subban. Big fan of his.
I think you're a big fan of a big fan of his.
Nah, that's more appropriate. And then, I tend to agree
He
with
doesn't
Mark.
finish. He's like, yep.
Well, you looked away.
Peter told you to get off your phone.
I was looking at the standings. Shut up, Peter.
I agree with Mark about Pittsburgh, a team that kind of just flips the switch. Like, okay, it's the playoffs now. Let's show up.
Yeah.
So
Here we go.
Texas Stoshball.
I'm going with Tampa, Nashville.
Those are the two teams to beat.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to be kind of like a similar question, but so the teams that you guys named, do you think those are the teams that you respectively name are the Stanley Cup Finals players?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I
So you think those are the teams to beat, but someone will beat them?
I think Tampa. I think Nashville goes to the Stanley Cup.
So it's Nashville versus...
I think Pittsburgh. I think it's rematch.
Okay. So you got Vegas, Tampa?
Yes.
and I have the rematch as well.
Okay. I think... Wait, you said Pittsburgh for the team to beat in the East?
I did.
Dig.
Well, I mean, you could still have that.
That's not what I was arguing. It's funny. I don't know why I'm saying this, and I know I'm going to be wrong. And so when I'm wrong, I promise to take the private stock for it. I'll actually do a triple shot for it. But my team to beat in the West is Nashville. I think they're the only team that's been consistently hot. I mean, they're leading the league in points. But the team to beat is Tampa in the East because they've proven it. But my Stanley Cup predictions is going to be... it's so weird to say. It's going to be the Jets, Blue Jackets. Oh, sorry, no, not Blue Jackets. I was wrong. Capitals. Jets, Capitals.
Wearing Blue Jackets.
You know, I was going to say I deserve a shot of private stock for that, but he deserves it more. So give it to him.
Let's share.
No, you deserve it more.
Whoa, send it around,
sorry.
pal.
Why do you say the Blue
Peter's
Jackets?
watching. We had a discussion. No bottles over the board.
Unless they're open.
Why do you say the Blue Jackets?
No, Capitals.
Oh.
I mean Capitals. I think the Capitals get it done this year. And the reason I say that is because Boston, in my opinion, they were supposed to be good this year, but they're better than they were supposed to be. I pictured them to be the third seed in the Atlantic Division, finishing around a 90-point finish. You know, Marchand was going to do his thing. You know, all these players are going to do their thing. They're going to get these players back that have been either unhealthy or injured in time for the playoffs, especially Bergeron. That's been a big key missing for them. I mean, games where Bergeron doesn't play, Bergeron and Taze, to me, are like the two most pivotal players for any team. Like when Taze is injured and he's not playing, or when for the Blackhawks or Bergeron for the Bruins, you really see how important faceoffs is for a team, especially on the defensive end of the ice. when Bergeron played, I think it was against the Red Wings, not this last game they played, but the game before that, they just looked atrocious in the circle. Absolutely atrocious. And it was so noticeable because Bergeron wasn't there. I mean, you're talking about Bergeron being a 65 to 70% face-off winning percentage type of guy, and take that out of the lineup. I mean, that's like... the only thing I can attest it to is
He's a modern-day Conway.
okay. You get to go ahead and take this. Just because Conway wasn't a center.
Banksy, whatever.
Banksy was a winger.
Who the fuck? Jesse Hall.
Nope. He
Man,
took
you
some,
just
but he wasn't a
do-
center.
Well, like in the beginning, right?
Yeah, it was Averman. Averman was the center.
Oh, dude, even better.
Yeah. So that's like 6 wrong, so just finish the ball.
No shot.
I don't know. I think the East is so tightly wound and competitive that I think for the first time, the Capitals are being looked at as the team that shouldn't go to the finals for the East.
They choke every year.
So not because they choke, but just because like I think people are viewing Pittsburgh as better than them now that Pittsburgh has really gotten on their own and whatnot.
Is Matt Murray back? I'm sorry.
I think so. Not 100% sure. I'm not going to vouch on it because I don't want to do any shots. But like Tampa's really good, Boston's really good, Toronto's got 97 points. These teams like the whole Atlantic 3-team race right there is better statistically than Washington. So I think it's like the first time Washington's being kind of slept on. So I feel like they could potentially make that.
But they're cursed.
They're cursed.
Washington, D.C. cursed.
Yeah.
It's a doomed team.
So I know.
Cousins had to go to Minnesota.
So I know Mark wanted to do Machine washable. Wanted to do some like a hot takey type of thing.
Well, you could, if you think about it. I mean, we've already said NBA and NHL are winding down, but baseball's starting up, and we have football on the horizon coming.
The draft.
Draft's coming up. Is there any type of like, somewhat realistic like hot take?
I got one for you.
What do you got, Kyle?
Well,
Oh, I'm sorry. You can go first.
I just want to get this one question out of the way, and then you guys run the table on this one. You guys do some hosting. So this one, I saw this question. I posed this to Souls last night, and I'd like him to post his thoughts on the air, but you guys can chime in as well. I follow this page on Instagram, basketball page called Dunk, and they do follow them. They rise some good questions to the table about stuff, and they do these kind of things where they post a player with like a fact, and then they say in the comment true or false, and then they have discussions in the comments with their followers. So one of the ones that really intrigued me, and I wish JMart was here to discuss it, but it said Kevin Durant will have the numbers at the end of his season, or at the end of his career, to be considered the GOAT, but won't because of his move to Golden State. True or false?
I personally said true.
So again,
I'd say true.
Kevin Durant has the numbers, statistics to be the GOAT, but he won't be the GOAT because he went to Golden State. So we got 2 trues. Red Baron?
I'll say false.
See, I also say false.
Why can't he be a good player on a good squad? And why would that impact him?
For me, Durant's always going to be looked at like the good player that had to go to the good team to win. He is great. I mean, he's one of the best players in the world. There's no denying it. But he made the move to join
Well,
the
you
team.
can't deny it. You just be an ass.
But I'm saying, like, he made the move to join the Golden State Warriors, who just came off a championship. It's just,
Well, do you remember the whole thing that we did on ring robbers?
yes.
I think that kind of falls into that category, sort of. I mean, it's a guy, he joined a winning squad. It's just...
But that's what I mean.
James
like,
Harrison was almost the biggest ring robber in the world.
But you think about it.
we have this thing that, like, sports fans, they want to see players win rings and, take less money to win rings. And that's exactly what Durant has done. He took less money to stay with the Warriors. They've won a ring, but they're always going to look at him like he had to join this already a super team to do it. I think he would have gotten a ring on his own at some. I mean, maybe not with Oklahoma. I don't know, but I don't see anything wrong with him going there. It's just that he's always going to be looked down on for doing it.
Souls?
Like, they look at Kevin Durant as the bad guy.
Right.
And he's really not. Because in Oklahoma, he wasn't going to win.
Such a nice guy.
Like, he had Russell Westbrook, and that was it.
There's nothing wrong with the bad guy.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, everybody really wants the good guy to come out on top. And that's why everybody wants LeBron, because everyone thinks LeBron is the good guy. But I just feel like his numbers speak for themselves. He's a superstar. He was better in Oklahoma because he didn't have the talent around him that he does now.
Well, he did. It just wasn't matured enough yet.
Yeah. And I just feel like him going to Golden State's not really.
Well, I
Because
mean,
that's a topic that's always worth talking about in my mind. We won't discuss it too much now, but it's always a great topic in my mind. It's just imagine if Oklahoma let it ride. Imagine if Oklahoma decided, let's see what we got for the future.
Because Steven Adams wasn't the player he is now.
But forget that. It just would have been Harden, Westbrook, and Durant.
Yeah.
well, the thing is, it's like though they
And
never won.
Harden would have been more. Sorry not to cut you off, but Harden. I think if that team stayed to fruition, I think Harden would have been much more like a Ray Allen.
The only thing is
Because
that
Harden is very underrated in his 3-point shooting ability. He is lights out. I mean, everyone knows he's a great 3-point shooter, but like people just assume Steph Curry when you say the best 3-point shooter of all time. But Harden lights it up and from deep regularly.
he just didn't want to be a six man anymore.
No, I understand that. That's nothing to do with that. But I'm just saying, like, if they had stayed together, I think Harden would have been that Ray Allen type of guy. I don't want to say Klay Thompson because Harden's defense is minimal at best.
But he can play defense when he chooses to. A lot of times, he's just like whatever.
He can't.
He was okay. He was pretty good when he was in Oklahoma.
He was quick. He can keep up with the guards like a Steph Curry. The people that do the, that come to the rim with finesse and use the Euro step and run around on the perimeter or do like the cut moves like a Rip Hamilton through the. James Harden's good at keeping up with those people, which when he decides to play defense is good. But like James Harden will never be a good defender if he has to guard somebody like Dame. He's not going to be good against someone that's going to go to the hoop from the top of the key with power. Because like when Damian goes to the hoop, he's looking to finish it with some pizzazz. He's looking to finish with two hands at the rim in an aggressive fashion. That's not what Harden's good for. So he's like, the defense to 1 out of 5. I'll give him like a
2.5.
When he's on, I'll give him a 3 because he can keep up with people. The speed helps, but
He's just more for the offensive guy who puts up 40, 10, 10.
which
Makes up for it.
yeah, you don't. If you can do that regularly, fuck defense. We'll do what Houston does. We'll fill you with people who shoot the ball and play defense. But so I say false, not because of the statistical aspect of it. I think that he will be able to put up the statistics to keep him in that GOAT discussion. I don't think he'll be considered the GOAT not because of moving to Golden State. I just don't think he'll be considered the GOAT because Golden State didn't need him to win championships.
He needed that.
He needed them. And I know what you're saying. Like, he didn't have the talent to what it is now. He didn't have the Westbrook that we're seeing last season and this season. He didn't have the Harden we're seeing now, or the like Ibaka and all that stuff. Those pieces, they didn't all fit together as well as they should have at the time. But you look at like the 3 players that are in discussion for like the GOAT, the number 1 GOAT in NBA history. The Lakers couldn't have done it, in my opinion, without Kobe. They couldn't have. I mean, maybe they would have won 1. I mean, Shaq was dominant. There's no doubting about it. But without Kobe, I don't think they would have gotten the 3-peat gun. It was proven that the Bulls couldn't do it without Jordan because they didn't reach the finals either year he was out. Scottie Pippen did his best. He should have won MVP that first year. He put up amazing numbers, and they did make playoff runs, but they couldn't make it to the finals without him. And then he comes back, and they win 3 more. And then you look at LeBron James, and you look at the amount of finals he's been in his career. Even if he hasn't won them all, you just look at the finals. Like, to me, that's what speaks the volume towards the GOAT. Because, I mean, Kobe's got 5 or 4?
5, I think. I think I don't know.
I'm trying to think.
I know he won at least 1 without Shaq.
Yeah, he beat the Celtics without Shaq.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if he won the other one.
I think it's 5 though.
And then Jordan's got 6. LeBron's got 4. 3 with Miami, 1 with Cleveland.
Yeah.
But he's been to like, I don't know,
15.
somewhere between like 1 and 1,000 finals. And then, but you look at Durant. I mean, he made the 1 finals appearance with Oklahoma, but
They were too young.
it just didn't work out at all. They were very undermatched. And Golden State, like I said, Golden State did not need him to do what they've been doing. They did it before he got there, and they could do it after he left. So, to me, that's what I mean. For me, for Kevin Durant to be considered the GOAT, it would almost seem like Kevin Durant would need to go to a team where there's only one other star player, not superstar. He would need to kind of do what's happening in Toronto. He'd need to be the DeRozan, and he'd need to have a Lowry.
Go to Brooklyn. Take him to a title.
I think him and D'Angelo would be good together.
Can I tell you?
I also think if a lot of people talk about all this LeBron James stuff. I think Durant would be a great fit in LA.
I hate so much when people have these greatest of all time debates. I hate it because you can't compare players now to players in the past. You just can't. In any sport, all sports, they've changed so much over the past few years. You just can't compare them. I hate it.
I saw this one post a long time ago, and I agree with it most for NBA. For football, it's a little different because it's so skilled position-wise. I mean, there's certain players that, in my opinion, you can talk about being the greatest of all time without a doubt. Like, I think Jerry Rice is the greatest wide receiver of all time.
Oh, it's
And
it's unanimous.
I can agree
I think
with
if you
that.
asked 100 real football fans, I think at least 80% of them would say the same thing. Even
but that's
statistical,
because-
big game, clutch, that type of thing. But running back might vary a little bit, but I think you're going to get the two guys in the same discussion. I mean, honest, if you ask real football fans, I think it's going to be Walter Payton or Barry Sanders.
But that's because if you look, like Jerry Rice put up those huge receiving numbers in a running back driven league.
Right.
And the same thing, like those two running backs were the best ever in a running offense. That the NFL is so different now. You can't compare
Well, here's the thing. Even in today's NFL, no receiver is going to be able to match those numbers.
but it's only a matter of time because
I
it's
don't
such a
think so.
pass heavy league.
I don't think so.
I mean, Larry Fitzgerald is the only active player right now who's
Even close,
Even
and
close.
he's still 8,000 yards away from Jerry
and he's going into his
Rice's
14th
number.
season. I mean, keyboard, god damn it. Granted that Jerry Rice played 20 seasons. I mean,
Just real funny point. Peter wants us to know that Michael Irvin was better than Jerry Rice.
hey, he was good.
Yeah,
He was good,
we'll
bro.
go ahead and say that. We'll also say that Emmitt Smith's a washout that had to go play in frickin' Arizona just so he could break the record. He didn't deserve it. He's not a better running back. than
But
Walter
really,
Payton.
like to me, as far as
Trust me when people
receivers,
say that. The only person
He's got a better running back than Barry Sanders.
The only person that can be in the conversation with Walter Payton, in my opinion, is Barry Sanders, and that's only because we don't know what would have happened if Barry played.
And he had a terrible offensive line.
He had a terrible team.
really though, like to me, it's only a matter of time before someone breaks Jerry Rice's record. Because
I don't think it'll ever happen. His career
will,
receiving
though.
yards?
Yes,
No, I don't think
it
it'll ever
will
happen.
because teams are throwing more and more, and you're seeing more receivers come out.
But that's just it. And my argument against your point is what you just said, is that you're seeing more and more receivers come out. Almost every team in the NFL now has two legitimate weapons at receiver. Jerry Rice was the only legitimate weapon for almost 20 years on whatever team he decided to play
That's a
on.
good point.
I don't see...
Pretty terrible in Seattle.
He barely played. He was just a roster
Okay,
spot.
let's not count Seattle then. But all these teams he's been on, I mean, he was the guy. And they're, like you said, it was a run heavy team, so he was just the guy. I mean, you look at Calvin Johnson. I mean, yes, he cut his career short, but even Calvin Johnson's career in Detroit, he was the guy. He was the number one. But he had Nate Burleson. Like, he had a legitimate receiver that could catch the ball, move the marker, score touchdowns on the other side of the field. You look at these people like Jordan Nelson's and these Randall Cobbs. Like, they played with each other for so long, and so it just hinders the stats for the other players.
I can see that.
I don't think Jerry Rice might get beaten in touchdowns. I mean, he's got a lot. But I could see a big red zone threat tight end coming into the league that just dominates in touchdowns.
The problem is someone has to come out of the gate as a rookie and put yards together like he did right off the bat. You can't start late. You can't have 3 seasons of mediocrity and then start to pick it up. You have to be amazing out of the gate.
We almost saw that with two guys. I mean, Odell did it, but he's battled injuries and didn't do it last year. And Mike Evans was on track, but then Jameis Winston didn't come out super great. But those are two guys, I mean, could make a run at it.
So we'll just do a quick look at Jerry Rice here. We gotta wind it down.
I hate that, especially for NFL quarterbacks, is where it drives me nuts. Because
quarterback's too tough.
it's horrible, because if Dan Marino played in today's NFL, he'd probably have 10,000 passing yards a year. He was putting up 5,000 yards.
A very bad team.
But I mean, he was putting up 5,000 yards a season in a
bad
run-first
defense.
NFL, and like you said, on not great teams.
Marino battled some injury as well. He wasn't.
If he played in today's NFL, he would be lighting it up, throwing the ball.
So I mean, like Jerry Rice from 85 to 95 in his first 10 years, his rookie year was 927 yards, and then his next lowest was 1,078, and then after that he consecutively broke 1,200
Yeah.
in 10 years, his first 10 years. I mean,
The biggest thing that may keep his record forever is the longevity.
Well, that's
Because that's something we don't really see anymore.
as a guy, he was hardly hurt, and even when he was hurt, he was playing.
Yeah.
I mean, you
I
look
think
at
the only big year he really, I think the only notable
2,000
like
yard.
really year that he had for injuries was, I think it was his, what year was it? 97. He was really hurt. I think he only played 2 games. I think he finished, but I think even in that year, that year he had 2 receptions or something like that, 7 receptions for 78 yards,
yeah.
and that was his only real injury year.
It's just,
I mean, think about it. That means he had 7 receptions for 78 yards. It's still pretty fucking nuts.
Well, yeah. So he had 2 years he played in the NFL that he wasn't even really playing. Seattle, and he played 2 years in Oakland, I think. And the second year in Oakland, he was just a roster spot.
Yeah. I just hate those great... Because if you see a lot of the quarterbacks, if they played, 25 years ago, they wouldn't have the stats they had. Just because the game has changed
No,
so much.
the game has changed. There's no argument against it. I'm just saying that
He played 4 years in Oakland.
4 years
1
in
year
Oakland.
in
Because even that, like, if you look at it in terms of basketball, everyone compares Jordan to LeBron. But when Jordan was playing, I mean, there really wasn't the three-point shot. They had it, but it wasn't as prevalent as it is today.
I have to state, too, that in his 20th season with Seattle, he still averaged 15 yards a reception. I mean, he only had 25 receptions for 360 yards, but still averaged 15 yards a reception. And he broke the 1,000-yard plateau twice in Oakland, and very close his third year. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, it's a different game. And I saw this thing a long time ago that forever will break it down. For NBA, everyone's allowed to have their own opinions for greatest of all time, but I think they're all in the discussion, and I think they're all, like, at the end of the day, when they really sit down, like, LeBron might be a little bit more competitive about it now because he's still playing, but, like, I think now that, like, Kobe's retired, I think Kobe looks at it, like, hey, I was in the discussion as the greatest of all time, good enough for me. But for me, it'll always go down as LeBron James is the best all-around athlete we've ever seen to ever play basketball. Hands down. Kobe Bryant is the best scorer of all time. And Michael Jordan is the most clutch player we've ever seen in the NBA. If you put the 3 of them on a team, LeBron wouldn't have to do scoring, and he'd still put up double-doubles. That's how good of an all-around player he is. LeBron would average 10 assists and 10 rebounds a game, without a doubt, without scoring.
Yeah.
And then you look at Kobe. I mean, you just look at the numbers that Kobe's put up over his career, like, and the way he's adapted his game. I mean, with age, he developed a pretty amazing three-point shot, especially contested. He still was able to drive the hoop at an old age. And Michael Jordan was that guy that at the end of the game, if whatever you needed him to do, it got done.
Yeah.
You needed the steal, he came up with the steal. You needed that rebound, Michael Jordan was the guy breaking in there and getting the rebound over all the 7-footers. You needed the 2 points against the Jazz, he got them. That's my opinion on it. I saw it and I couldn't agree with it more.
I just wish that instead of all time, you looked almost at, like of a generation or of that particular decade. It's just, I hate the all-time debates.
It's good for arguing.
It is, but that's all it is. It's just to start an argument that nobody can win.
Well, let's do it real quick. No arguing about it. Just curious. We'll do it for NBA because we were talking about it. I think that's the easiest one to do because there's more synonymous playing, defensive and offensive. You're on the court for both. Everything. Souls, in your opinion, who's the best NBA player of all time?
Michael Jordan.
Okay.
I say LeBron.
All right. Right, Baron?
See, I didn't get to see Michael Jordan play, but I think Michael Jordan.
All right. I'm not going to tell you who mine is.
You have to.
No, because I'm biased.
Ish Smith.
No, it's
Karl Malone.
Zaza Pachulia. Karl Malone's the greatest player of all time to never win a ring.
They never won a ring.
To never win a ring.
Yeah, I thought you said 2 win a ring.
To ever win a ring.
Well, no,
To
'cause-
ever? All right. I just want to bring this up real quick.
Oh my God, I'm just joking.
Excuse me.
Well, God, we have like 3 minutes.
Yeah,
So.
well, I tried earlier.
Let's
You're
go.
welcome.
Michael Jordan.
The hot topic, Shaquan Barkley will fall to 6 to the Colts.
I don't want to talk about that. I want him to go number 2 to the Giants.
No, but you think about it. Why would you trade JPP if you weren't going to pick Bradley Chubb?
No. I think they traded JPP to clear space to sign Odell. That's what they gave
That's
Pierre
stupid
Paul.
because you had to go into a 3-4.
But what I mean is, like, they have other defensive end. You know, they have Vernon still there. Snacks is still on the line. Pierre Paul was an expensive piece that was not falling off,
But it didn't
starting
help
to.
you guys in the cap room at
Did
all.
you guys see the meme of him?
Of course it did.
No, it didn't.
Did you guys see the meme of him in the Tampa Bay uniform?
Yeah, with the hook.
Yeah, a hook hand instead of his 4 finger or 3 fingers. Oh, I was dying.
It's just Pierre Paul. Like he was not that he was on the outs, but he was already having contract disputes that started 2 years ago. I think it was. The trade to me made sense. I didn't really care for it, but it is what it is. That's how football operates. You see, star players get traded to clear space or whatever. Do I think the Giants draft Chubb? They could. I mean, I'm not saying they won't.
Do you think Barkley falls to the 6?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
Because I don't think the Browns let him go past 4.
I don't think so either. I think he goes early.
Souls?
I do. I think the Browns signing Carlos Hyde means that they're going to pick a defensive player with the 4th pick. I think the Broncos will take
But
the
who
quarterback.
if Chubb is gone?
They'll take Mika Fitzpatrick. They need a corner. And then the Broncos will take the quarterback that's available because Keenum has the capability of falling apart. He has the capability of not playing well.
I don't want to interrupt you, Kyle, but Peter wants us to know that Tim Duncan was the best NBA player of all time.
He was good.
And the Jets, they're taking a quarterback. So it leaves Barkley going to 6 to the Colts, which makes a lot of sense.
I disagree. I think I think the Jets take him, and they're spiraling.
I tell you,
disaster of office.
I can see the Jets taking him because they've brought in so many quarterbacks. They may wait another year to get their quarterback.
I see the Jets taking him. All right, we're out of time. Find us on social media.
Yeah, find us on Facebook and Instagram at Getting Sports with Drunk. Twitter is GSWD_4.
Make sure to use the hashtag GSWD for all your daily uses, whether you're buying a custom-made LeBron Philadelphia 76ers jersey or you're talking about the greatest NBA player of all time.
Be sure to subscribe to us on Podbean and iTunes. You can find us every morning from 7 to 8 a.m. on the Leab Sports Network and here every Sunday from 11 to 1 live on the PPRN radio network.
Beer reviews?
Well, my starting pitcher, the double ruffled, was very good.
The Duffled Rubble.
The double ruffled was very good. Stony Creek did a good job with this one. Liked it a lot. The reliever here, the 6-point low res, very different flavor than the double ruffled, but it's still easy drinking beer. Like it a lot.
Souls?
The Flying Jenny was straight. It was all right. And Miller Lights, whatever.
Nice.
Very, very descriptive, Kyle.
Baron?
I had the Mutually Assured Destruction
Again.
from Thimble Island. Repeating our Thimble Island Brewery review.
Nerd.
Souls, I'm just going to kick your ass. Very good. Kind of like the dessert beer as described to me. I enjoyed it very much.
Once again, having it like for breakfast.
For breakfast. That's exactly what's for breakfast.
The Super Duper Double Citra from Thomas Hooker was very good. Kind of had that hazy taste to it. I can't see it because it's in a can, but I'm assuming it's got that cloudy yellow color to it. It was very good, though. A lot of Citra. The Citra hops are very prevalent in it. Pretty easy drinking at 8%, but very good. Definitely a physical challenge. Until next time. It's going to be 2 weeks before you hear us live.
Which will be the NFL draft.
NFL draft, yep. We
Yes.
got the,
Enjoy your Easter.
enjoy your Easter, yep. Be sure to tune in anyway, though. 11 to 1 next Sunday. We'll have the Thimble Island show for you, as well as some surprise. We're not sure
we
what
may
yet,
have
but it'll be something.
We don't know yet.
And, yeah, just enjoy your Easter. Have
Take
a good
care.
one. Peace out.
Yeah.